you guys see this? Yes. Kind of, sort of. No, it's kind of a split thing here. I don't know why that is. Okay. It doesn't appear that. That's very strange. So we'll just move on and include the weirdness in our presentation. So we started, my wife and I started Zippity News about 5 years ago in reaction to all the cynicism and drama and heartache that you see in the media. And so we wanted to create something that was uplifting and good and kind and compassionate and brought people together rather than divided us. And is there any way to fix this? No. So I gave you a little handout. Perhaps we can just refer to the handout. And these are just a small part of testimonials that we've received in the last 5 years. And I wanted to call your attention to my two favorites. One is just a perfect testimonial for someone as a reader, which is, I love Zippity News. It's one of the consistently delightful, simple pleasures of my life, and that's what we want to be for people. For advertisers, we love this as well because Joanne said, I prefer to buy local, and this is great local advertising. Zippity News is a breath of fresh air in the midst of a lot of negativity. So advertisers wind up being associated with something positive in our community, and we think that's a big thing. Oh great, thank you. Our branding is that we're the good guys, we're the neighborhood friends. Our columns get healthy, good karma, critic corner, things like that, all enhance our brand, which enhances the brands of people that advertise with us. We're one page, we'll always be one page. We like being small, and people have asked us to expand, but not good for the advertisers. With Zippity News, you're either on the front page or the other front page. Very simple. In Northeast and Southeast, we deliver to coffee shops and restaurants. We started with a handful, and we're up to about 115 now, so it's real exciting. In Beaverton area, big evolution. So instead of the 6,000 that we produce every month in Northeast and Southeast, we're going to be printing, distributing over 50,000 copies a month. So we'll do in 1 month what it would take us 8 months in the Southeast and Northeast. We can do that for as low as under half a penny. We accept 39 advertisers, and just in case that didn't sink in, I thought I'd present that slide. 50,000 for under half a penny a piece. So we're evolving into something that really hasn't been seen before that I know of in Portland. We will no longer be a traditional newspaper. Because a newspaper is like a tree, it's kind of planted, it stays where it is in the distribution patterns. When demographics change or their market changes, there's not much that they can do about it. We're not a traditional direct mail piece because, with direct mail, there's typically no content. You either need the item or it ends up where? In the trash. Not so with Zippity News. I think I handed this out, so I'm going to skip this over a little bit, but the idea about direct mail is that it's effective, but it's super, super expensive. And we have a solution for that. So what do the big guys do? What do Lowe's, Dish TV, Sierra Springs, JCPenney's, Burger King, Jiffy Lube, Pizza Hut, what do all these companies have in common?
Red Plum.
Red Plum, exactly. We're going to get to that in just a minute, but one of the things is they have boku dollars, so they can spend their advertising anywhere they like, and they do distribute it around. They also have people who do nothing day after day but watch the return on their investment. So if their advertising is cutting it for them, they're out of it. They're out of that particular vehicle. So when Tara and I first moved to Garden Home, I became enamored with Red Plum. And every Tuesday, it came to our mailbox on Tuesday, every Tuesday I'd spread it out over the kitchen table, and I'd make a little chart. If that advertiser appeared that week, I'd put a check mark. And based on about 6 months of studying Red Plum, these were the biggest advertisers. So we thought, okay, we have a 5-year-old business. We love our advertisers like crazy. How do we expand onto the west side and take good care of them? So we figured if these people would trust Red Plum, we could feel comfortable trusting them as well. So I'll talk a little bit about direct response rate in a second, but when we decided to go with Red Plum, we retooled Zippity News to fit into the Red Plum packet. So as you can see, the Red Plum packet, it's about 20% larger, and it's in color. But we're using color really sparingly. And the reason that we're doing that is we want to be distinct from everything else that's with Red Plum. We have the bright, fun logo, Zippity News. What's that? Let's open it up and find out. And the most exciting thing about us being delivered and produced by Red Plum is, first of all, we're not reinventing a wheel. We're using a wheel or a vehicle that has been around. 2 minutes, great. We've been around for years and years, tried and true, established audience, and a huge corporation. So the great thing that turns us on is that we will be the only thing in this packet with content. Everything else is just advertising. So we're super excited about using them for delivery people. For the Beaverton Tigard area, this is our mailing area. So this is Beaverton, and we're adding some surrounding neighborhoods, Bethany, Cedar Mill, some nice little neighborhoods with high median income. And the exciting thing about Zippity News using Red Plum is that we can target not only location, but median income. So we're super happy about that. The stars that you see are our 18 advertisers that we have right now. We can hold a maximum of 39. We'll probably launch when we're about 25 or so. These are our rates. We'll talk about them later, in case you forgot. Thank you. And I wanted to leave you with a quote, which is, your greatness is not what you have, it's what you give.
Absolutely.
Last but not least, that's our baby. Any questions?
Yeah, Bernard actually had something up there about 31. Is that 31 responses per month or something?
Let me go into that real quickly. What I did is, I love numbers and math and all that stuff. So most small businesses can't even conceive of reaching 50,000 different homes in business. It's way out of our awareness and what we think is possible. So because we can get your message in front of so many people, all we need is just a small response to really make it worthwhile. Direct mail rates vary between 1% and 5% is what the statistics show. So I went into the numbers, and a 1% response rate is 500 calls or 500 visits. And then it went way down to 0.5%, 1/4, 1/8. And then I took a look at what the response would be if we went to 1/16 of 1% response. Just not 1%, 1/16 of 1%. So 1/16 of 1% means 31 calls or 31 visits to your website. So with the economy of scale for a couple $100 to get an extra 31 calls or 31 visits to your website, we think it's a winning formula. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Your content. Do you go out and find that content? Do people submit that? How does that work?
Great, thank you. It happens in a couple ways. I love researching on the internet. And sometimes our readers send us articles and links to things, and so that's how we do it. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Would there be an opportunity for, let's say, a Dr. Guard to write a little thing about
Good question.
He's advertising?
Good question. Tara and I have a little difference of opinion about that. She's happy to let guest people write articles. I like to have it branded as our publication, so we're kind of looking at that. So that's in discussion. But we certainly would promote that on Facebook, and we mention it on Facebook. Check out Dr. Guard's article in the next Zippity News and so forth. So, good question. Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.